rapping for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And here on Modify Your Life, we talk about modify your life mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. Right. And we got a good one. So how this kind of happened right here is that my boy James pulled up. Well, first off, welcome, James. I didn't expect her to switch her to the camera so fast. So we're gonna welcome, James. But you know, I met James the other day when Pito came over and shared his amazing story and his trials and tribulations, how he's overcame so much. And James is before that, obviously, you know, Pito wasn't gonna come with his buddy and me just not talk to him. And so I was kind of talking to James in the way like he was sharing his story. And first off of what happened was a shocker. Me and Big John looked at you and were like, you got to tell like, oh, dang, okay, that kind of hit home. And then we were just talking and I was telling James, we were just like, I forgot what we were talking about. We were just talking about just like, you know, overcoming things. And I looked at James, I was like, yo, what are you guys doing after EDC? And they were leaving Monday. And he's like, oh, you know, we're just leaving Monday. I was like, I want you guys to come back. I want James on the podcast and let's reshoot it. Let's do another one with Pito. And so 90% of the stuff that we're going to hear today, I haven't heard. And I love shooting podcasts like that because I want to be shocked like everyone else. But I know in just a little bit of 5-minute conversation that I had with James, this guy's a worker. This guy's a grinder. But I'll shut up now and just give you, you know, pass the mic on to you there, James. And I want to know, man, like, you know, before everything that happened, and we'll get into all that, who was James?
Yeah, first off, thank you for having me. I'm super grateful. This is amazing. So James, you know, he's always been a little grinder. He's always been, you know, underestimated in my baseball life, just all around. And I just love to be in the gym. It's my first passion. And I just know that if I focus on my health, that, you know, I'm on the right path.
Yeah. And so you just, right here, we got your Instagram pulled up right now. My man's over here doing some pulls with a 45 on there. I can't even do that. Honestly, man, I can't even do that right now. Definitely right now, not on my shoulder, but not even on my, I haven't done it yet. I'm about to catch up with you on that one. That's your body weight plus 45, which is insane. So you love being active. You know what I mean? So you could kind of consider yourself like a, underdog?
Definitely.
What is like for baseball? What was it? What was it for sure? Or what was it?
I was always shorter.
Okay.
So, and I had talent, but when it came to a certain time, like high school-ish, everybody like had this huge growth spurt, and I just had my talent, and so I just had to outwork, and that's what I did.
Let's go, man. So, like, was it like, so you were, is there like a certain height, not I could say requirement, but is there like a certain height or certain size, like a male wants to be playing baseball?
Yeah, I mean, if I was 6 foot, I would have been competing with some of these pros.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I don't know. So I'm not really, everyone knows me. Everyone gets on me on time for not being like a big sports person. But I'm not a big sports person, you know, unless it's like boxing or like jiu-jitsu or some stuff like that. But football, basketball, I don't really, you'll never catch it. I watch Super Bowl. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your whole entire life, you just been into sports?
Yeah.
Is that like your main passion? So you've been healthy your whole entire life?
Yeah, definitely. Just trying every sport, just falling in love with all these new sports. Like literally before my accident, I think my trunk had like 7 or 8 sports just so I could just play them at any time.
Let's go, man. Yeah. This is healthy, active lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And so which probably led into your favorite, one of your probably favorite sports. Still your favorite sport? From the accident?
Baseball?
No, from the accident. The sport you're doing when you had the accident.
Snowboarding?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still love it up there. I'm not sure how much I need more practice on the sit ski.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I still love it up there. It's so beautiful.
Bro, that's insane that you know, that's what we were talking about. You were telling me about how you had to get back up there and you had to touch it again.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so is absolutely insane, which I would love for you to kind of reshare that day with them. So they're not trying to figure out what the heck is what happened to James. Like, can someone please say this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So go ahead and just kind of share what you remember from that day, man. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, so I just remember the first few runs up on the mountain. I don't remember the fall, but I had my GoPro running. And it took me a few weeks to be able to watch it. Like, it was pretty traumatic for me. But yeah, I would hit like the half pipes with the flats, and then I would just come down. I had done it so many times. I was going on like 9 years of snowboarding, and I like to push it, so that's what I was doing. But yeah, so I hit this different feature that I didn't recognize, and it was shaped like a volcano, and you have to shift your weight forward when you're gonna land, and because it's pretty steep. So I hit it with too much speed, and I just flew up, and my feet just went in the air, and I came down on my back, shattered my T12 vertebrae, and I got helicoptered to the hospital. Spent a few weeks there, and right now I'm still going to physical therapy 2 years later, which is a great sign because with insurance and stuff, you have to prove that you're making progress, or else there's no point in them just funding it.
That's crazy. So if you were making progress, they would stop funding it.
Yeah, for
even
sure.
though you have probably, I'm assuming, good insurance.
Yeah.
We got him right here doing some physical therapy right here. What were we doing right here?
Okay, so yeah, milestone day, April 7th. I couldn't use my hip flexor to pick up my right leg like that,
Okay.
and I could do it with my left for like a while now, but that was the first time I ever got it up right there.
Bro, let's go, man. Just the fight of just fight of a dog, man. So so what happened? Like, take us to the day like when you woke up, right? Like you woke up after the accident. I'm assuming you don't remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what you said, you barely remember. You said you just remember like the beginning of that day, correct?
Yeah, the first few runs, and that was only after I watched my GoPro video that I was like reminded of it, because I totally blacked out. Like that whole day was like, it was just gone. Yeah, I woke up in the hospital. My family's all there, my friends are all there, like supporting me, which is exactly what I needed, because it didn't really hit me yet that I, wasn't gonna be able to walk, or the doctors don't just tell you like, oh, you're gonna walk. They can't do that. Yeah, spent a few weeks there, and then I signed up to go to Loma Linda inpatient, which is amazing program over there. So I got lucky, and since every day there, like I love every single one of my physical therapists. They're amazing, like kind, genuine people, just love what they do, and it was so easy to vibe with them, just being a kinesiologist myself.
Let's go, man. And like, how did you take the news? Like how like, because I always, when I listen to people and their stories, right? Because I always try to put myself in that shoe, and I think that we talked about that a little bit. Like, I don't know how I would take news like that, right? So like, how did you take the news? Like, did so much go through your mind? Did nothing go through your mind? Were you numb?
Yeah. Okay. So, growing up, you begin to have this picture of what your life's gonna look like. Mm-hmm. When that happens, you just blank slate. Like you have no idea what the rest of your life's gonna look like. So
Wow.
I'm an overthinker. So with that, like my mind just would not stop. Like I was constantly trying to figure out, like, will I be in a relationship, and there's all those ins and outs of everything, especially with how it is nowadays. Like man of the providers, right? So
Yes.
yeah, that definitely weighed on me a ton. It took me down too. I got back up.
Let's go. Talking about get back up. Look at this guy right here. Look at his Instagram right here, right? Which is like the one of like the craziest things to me, right? There, you still say you have a love for snowboarding. You already got back up on the mountain. You said you're doing sit skiing.
Yeah, sit skiing. Yeah, that was amazing. That day, I was nervous. I was scared. Like I was just a bag of emotions, and it wasn't until I finally got up there and started feeling the wind in my face and seeing all the white snow. And I happened to have this amazing trainer up there too to help me with that, and it was so easy to vibe with him too. Like those are just my people.
And you said, like, when we were talking, you said like you had to go and touch it again. Like you remember, like I said, like you had a vendetta, like you had to go and like take control over that hill again.
Yeah, I definitely did.
How was that? How was that first experience going down the lift or going down the slopes?
It was cool. It was pretty amazing. Like I had the instructor was like tethered to my back, so he wasn't gonna let me fall. So I felt comfortable in that way. But I was nervous. I was so nervous. And once I got down the first time, I was like, let's go again.
Back to the old James, right?
Yeah.
Let's go, man. That's I love to hear it, man. And like I want to get into what you're doing now, what you're doing today, but like what did this whole situation teach you so far?
Patience. Like I already was already like lacking in that area, but man, my patience is on a whole nother level. Like I needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you think are you the type of person that think things happen for a reason, like you needed to slow down, or did you just think this was a freak accident? Like,
I was thinking freak accident, but um, just with everything I've learned now, like looking back, it was for a reason. Like I'm still in the beginning of my path. Everybody's telling me like, dude, you're amazing, and I have it in my heart that I'm gonna change lives. And just how do I do it?
what you're doing now, man, like literally what you're doing now, like, this, when the reason why got you on my podcast is not because of your story, as in what happened to you. It's what you're achieving after it. You know what I mean? Because think about this, like, that's something that you have what did the doctors give you percentage of walking again?
Yes and no. They said you just have to work. You just have to work because they don't know. Like every injury is so different. Like especially with mine being a shatter, that you can't tell. Like you're in spinal shock for over a year, so you just gotta just lay there and let your body heal. And that's where the patience came in for me because I was always up and about, moving, doing something, and I had to spend so much time just resting. Even when I first got back to the gym, like it was really hard because I wanted to get up and move, but my body just couldn't handle what I used to do before.
Well, your body's going through a lot. You know what I mean? Your body's going through a lot, and it's so interesting that I have you on my podcast, but yet I'm learning from you, right? Because you just talked about patience, and that's something that I've had to go through with the shoulder injury. I'm go go go. So in my life and in my story is like I felt like I wasted so many years, right? Like I felt like because I started when I was 27 years old, and a majority of my early teens into 20s, like 20s, I wasn't living life right. Like I didn't have didn't make good money. I went out and partied every weekend. I was an asshole. Like I was generally an asshole. Like people think I'm joking around. Like I was an actual asshole. Like I was mean to people. Right. And if I had something better than you, then I was gonna let you know because my insecurity was I was overweight. So I wouldn't let you. I would make you feel some type of way bad for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a chip on my shoulder that I've constantly had. And living a life like that is just like it's not cool, right? There's a lot of people I've owed and I've owed apology to, because just I was really unhappy with myself, even to the point like modified Frankie, like not saying I would ever put hands on or anything like that, but at the same time, like I was just an asshole. Like I was very cutthroat, very to the point, very mean about everything. You know what I mean? So, and why I feel like I'm go, go, go right now is that because now I've lost 350 pounds. I get to live a life of enjoyment, not only for myself, but enjoyment because I get to help other people. And I don't know how to slow down because I move. On top of that having ADD, right? So something that I feel my shoulder situation has allowed me to learn from is patience, right? And also too how it is to lose. Because I've went so many years of my life understanding or not understanding. I went so many years of my life really with I would say for the last couple of years I've taken very little losses, and if they were losses, I really didn't even recognize them as losses, right? So this one right here, I had to have it in control. You know what I mean? So when I don't have it in control, it really freaks me out. Whenever it really freaks me out, I want to rush everything. I want to get still want to go. But just like you had brought up, it's patience, right? And without patience, we really don't have anything. And the lack of patience you had, the lack of patience I had before these situations, which I actually don't think it's even fair to compare mine to yours, but I'll just say maybe mentally be in the same kind of place of just learning the patience. Patience in everything in life is needed, And so other than patience, what else have you taken from the situation?
Man, I've taken so much, but something I could highlight. Strength.
Let's go.
Mental toughness. Like I was already mentally tough, but I literally like lost a piece of myself, like a big piece of myself. And there was one point when I was like, I didn't even want to go to the gym. Like everything there is not made for me, and it's just not the business. But yeah, my strength, my mental toughness, that's definitely it right there. Because I was losing my head.
Yeah. Did you go through some type of like depression after, in the middle of your, I guess we could call it your accepting stage?
Yeah, yeah, maybe like 6 months to like I don't know, a year and a half. That was when I think the depression was the worst. But the thing that helped me change that was, so I don't know, my mom was taking it really bad, and obviously like I'm going through something, but I just couldn't see her like that. So I had to pick myself up like any which way I could. And so when I had the extrinsic motivation, it was just the sky's the limit from there.
Bro, that's deep. That's really deep. You know what I mean? You're in a wheelchair and you see your mom hurting, which someone I'm assuming you're close with. And you're willing to do everything you can to not make only yourself better, but herself feel better. Right? And how many people, and how many people don't even have working legs and working arms, but yet still won't pull themselves up? Right? What's that quote you shared the other day? Would you shared a quote with me? I forgot who was by.
It's a Christopher Reeves.
I think it was. It was something about there's people with.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was, but
I think
it's something to do with. Most people are walking around, and they're more paralyzed than I am.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. There's people walking around, they're more paralyzed than I am, right? And it's so true because at the end of the day, we paralyze ourselves, right? A lot of people will set a bar of what they can and can't do. They'll set a glass ceiling, and they'll feel so stuck and feel so lost, but yet they'll stay in that place. Like the cool thing and crazy thing about your story is that like you chose not to stay in that place, and that was an option, right? I think it's safe to say, not only myself or anyone listening, like that's probably expected or if not accepted by you being such a negative place because of the situation that happened that you didn't, yes, you went snowboarding, but you didn't ask for this to happen, right? Like it's not like you went there and said, hey, I'm going to fall today, right? You went there to enjoy a sport that you enjoyed doing with your, I think you said when you went with your friends and brother or something, correct?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, a lot of us that are not paralyzed are, they're, what's the correct word to use?
Paralyzed.
Is it paralyzed? All right, I don't want to get in trouble, man. I don't want to get in trouble. No. Peter likes to set me up, so I appreciate you not trying to set me up on this podcast. But people are not paralyzed, but yet they're mentally paralyzed, right? They're not willing to put in that work because of what they feel they can't do, or they're having a rough day.
Yeah, you just can't put those limits on yourself, ever.
And it's proven. Like having you and having Peter on the podcast, I feel is, and I love everyone's on my podcast, right? So I got to really watch what I say. But as in the most impactful, bro, you guys got to beat. Like, forget my story. Like, you guys got to beat because, like, you really had to dig yourself out of a negative place, right, in order to still, like, look at this guy. This guy has bigger arms than me, man. This guy's freaking over here racking. I think I showed that video already. We got Link over here. So that's probably been a big stepping stone for you to hop on that machine.
Yeah. This Gold's Gym, and they have on this ductor machine, it goes low enough to where I could do it. And that's not the case at 24 hour where I normally go. And so I was loving it. And that's what I need right there, so I can be able to stand and begin to take steps on my own.
Man. And so just a question. You have a whatever percentage the doctor said or didn't say you have, right? Even if he said you had 5%, 1%, would that stop you from doing what you're doing right now?
No, I still have to make a life. Like it's not an option to just give up.
God damn, it ain't an option to give up. There's someone that listening to their self that gave up their self because they got a flat tire this morning because they forgot their meals at home. You know what I mean? And it's not good. One thing that, having you and Pino on this podcast is, no, we're not really supposed to compare ourselves. But if you see someone who is, some would say, in a worse off position, still out there getting it, still out there grinding, being positive in a very negative, someone would take a negative situation, you have no choice but to compare yourself and realize, what the hell am I doing with my life?
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I know it's not the best thing to say, but that's actually what kind of helped me, just seeing people with less movement than me, but still working. And, Pito's been a huge inspiration for me. Like, once I met him, I saw him on Instagram, and I was like, dude, this guy's freaking amazing. Like, his story is crazy. Like, he's been doing this for, 17 years or something, and I just barely got in this, and I don't even know how he could keep going that long, and he was just such an inspiration I had a visual of, like, success.
Yeah, man. No, Pito's something else. Pito is definitely something else. And so are you, man. You know what I mean? Because something that we haven't even highlighted yet in this podcast is my stomach is talking to me. Your incident happened 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago. Probably should start off with that bad boy.
Yeah.
This incident happened 2 years ago, and you're already making steps to taking steps. Like, that's absolutely, literally, you know what I mean? Which is absolutely insane. So as much as, you went through that depression, bro, you couldn't have let it overcome you that long because it's 2 years. 2 years, I've been now in Vegas for almost 2 years. And you're over here, reteaching yourself how to walk when there's a very little, if any, to do it, right? Is absolutely insane. So, like, that mental fortitude you had to dig yourself out of that hole is just like a whole nother level. And like, what keeps you every single morning? Like, you guys are down here for EDC, you're enjoying you're living your new version of your life. But like, what keeps you going? What keeps you fighting every single day?
Oh man, I think my confidence just shot up within the last month and a half or two. I think it was around the time when I went up and did the sit skiing, but that's once I started feeling that, and I don't know, like, I just feel good talking to people, like guys, like girls, and that helped me so much, because when I meet somebody who doesn't see my chair, they just see me, like, I love those people in my life. It's just so wholesome, and I just love that. I want to be that for somebody else too.
I like that when people notice you and not your chair.
Yeah.
You put that on a shirt.
I do.
All right. Speaking about that, we got the perfect time to bring it up. My man has shirts. Definitely gonna put. You have a website yet? Or are you selling from your Instagram?
I'm selling from Instagram, but the website's almost up.
I need a shirt. I need one of each color, man.
I got
I need
you.
one of each color. But yeah, so go ahead and send my boy James a DM if you want a shirt. Got a shirt pulled up right here. Got a support. And what's behind this?
Yeah, so HSA, this is the second logo, and I had it in my head before my accident. It was just one of those things that just sat there for like a year or two. But once my accident happened, I was like, I got to get to fundraising. I need more funds for physical therapy because I'm not working still. So yeah, I came out with this shirt. I've always wanted to have my own gym brand. I'm not huge on wearing all those other gym brands. I want to rock my own stuff. So I came out with this nice tee, and I love it. It's a nice blend too.
Let's go, man. And bro, you're freaking ripped. Look at that back. Look at that.
Yeah, so I was working hard on my back and my legs before my accident, and I can't work as hard on my legs now. They just can't handle it. They get tired real easy. But I have this huge scar on my back, and I want my back to be my staple muscle now, like muscle group. Like I have to have a huge back. Like
That shit's shredded. You're looking shredded right there. And so I do want to get into one thing is that you said something, you got your confidence back. Was it, other than you brought up like the male role of being, the leader, right? The provider. Was it like, what was your confidence? What was James' confidence level before the accident? And where's James' confidence level today?
My confidence before, I walked the walk, but I wouldn't say I was talking the talk. Like, yeah, I looked good, but I did not feel like I always felt like I could be bigger. Like I was just trying to reach for the sky, and there was no limit in that time either. But man, recently my confidence is so different. It's so different. Like I don't even think I had this confidence before, which is crazy to me because like everybody's taller than me, right? So every conversation I have, I'm looking up, and they're like looking up at me. I'm looking up at you too, man. And what do you mean you're over here doing pulls with 45s on? I can't pull my body weight plus a 45. I'm struggling with this bulk right now. I'm surprised I'm not breathing heavy right now. The cut starts next week though. We're excited about that one, right? But you're saying some hidden gems. He said, even though I'm looking up at them, they're looking up at me.
And we need some. You better start quoting this stuff, big dog. All right, because you're gonna change a lot of people's lives, man. Because when it's just having someone like you that's that's just constantly just putting this work and just changing their life around. It's really just an eye opener to the world and the people listening, is that you're more than capable of getting it done if you're willing to just get it done. And it sounds so cliche. Well, no crap, cliche. No, really, that's common sense. No, but are you getting it done though? Like, are people out there? Are you really giving it your full potential and knowing that? Like, for most of us, the outcome we know is there if we put in the work. You don't know what your outcome is, but you could give yourself 100%, but you're still willing to give yourself 100% every single day. Like, that you're set on this is going to happen one day. You don't even care. You said you're going to work hard if it had 0% or 100% chance. You know what I mean? And most of us have so much potential, but we don't lock it because, well, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't become successful? What if I don't lose weight? What if I fail again?
Yeah.
Bro, you get up every single day now and caring what the outcome is going to be, because if the doctor said, if you work hard, you're going to get something out of it. And if not, you're mentally clear. How much more mentally clear are you now that you're back in the gym after your surgery, after your incident?
So clear. Like, you need that. Like, yeah, I go to the gym for my physical so I can roll for a long time, take care of my shoulders. But that helps your mental so much. And I know if you're in the gym, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I started being, man, you and Pito made me feel like a crybaby, bro. I was freaking depressed for damn near 2.5 weeks, bro, because I couldn't be in the gym. It honestly, not gonna lie, I'm very honest with myself and the people who listen to my stuff. It was kind of embarrassing sitting next to you and complaining about this. I'm being 100% honest. You know what I mean? Now I know everyone's story is different. We all have our own emotions, but it's crazy how much I needed you guys to be on my podcast, because even though we're not comparison, we both have our own struggles, but it is embarrassing for me to say that I was going in depression because I had so many other things I could have focused on, but yeah, I was focused on the shoulder, right? And you had no choice of what your negative was, what you're focusing on, or your negative was, right? You know what I mean? So it is embarrassing for me to admit that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm glad I went through it. I'm glad that I got to share it. I'm glad that, the people that continue to follow and grow with not only myself, but the Heavy to Modify brand and movement will understand that, like, we are stronger than we think, right? But if we keep continuing to put ourselves in this bubble that we can't, then you're never going to do, right? And I think it's safe to say, by having someone like James sitting next to me and sharing your story of how you're working on overcoming something that is pretty much is life-changing, is motivating, man. We're all looking up to you and what you're doing, man. There's people right now that could walk, that could talk, that could run, that could punch, that could jog, that could bike, they could hike, and they don't do any of it. They don't take advantage of any of their or all of their working limbs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it does suck, man. It does suck I only say it sucks because I've had myself in that box for a long time, that I can't. That mindset, I'm just not meant to be. I'm just not. I wasn't born rich, or blah 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 blah. I wasn't meant to be skinny. Like, you know what I mean? And we just get locked in there, which I'm sure you were probably telling yourself when you got out of surgery, before you kind of snapped out of it, right?
Yeah, no. I kept thinking about, just like how you were saying, what if I can't? What if I can't? Like, but what if you can? Like, there's always that second side of the coin, and that's the side of the coin you have to focus on. You can't feed that negative. You have to feed that positive. Yeah.
Where's your podcast at? Where's your podcast at? There's two sides of the coin. But we do, though. We focus on the negative, and myself included. And so your first, actually, there's one Instagram, there is one video that I want you to discuss. I want you to talk about. I want you to share this right here, man. I know it's sideways. I can't really adjust it. Maybe I could adjust it in post, but can you explain what they're watching right now and what's getting accomplished on this bad boy?
Yeah, so, I have to stand to get my hip flexors stretched, because I'm always sitting. They get tight. So, and also I need to stand to load bear, because without my load bearing, like, basically my bones are shrinking. I can't let that happen, because what happens if I fall one time? Because I will fall, and then it breaks. Then guess what? I have to lay in bed for a long time again. I don't want to do that. So I got up, did some walking. This is my house. My mom right here helping me. yeah, so I went, I don't know, maybe like 60, 70 feet there and back. And it feels so good to just be at my normal height. Like just to look at my normal view. I love it there.
So the typical mom move too. I'm fixing your shirt, fixing your son's shirt, make sure you're all stressed, make sure you're all good, you're good to go. Does your mom freak out over this more than you?
Me standing?
Yeah, like well, like as in like you, she's like you just you walking. No, like you want to get out there and walk. Is she like kind of freak out or she support it?
No, she supports it. She's telling me I should do it more, But yeah, I tell her right here that I don't need her to follow me. On the way back, I'm gonna need the chair. Like my arms aren't gonna be tired till I turn around. And she's just like, well, I'm gonna stay behind you anyway, just in case.
Make sure you're good, man, bro. And that's probably an amazing feeling of accomplishment. That you know what I mean. Did you ever think that you would be out there walking with with your what's it called, a walker? Is that called a walker?
Yeah, that's my walker.
My grandma has one of those.
My walker, and then I have KFO braces on.
Okay. And what do those do?
It's called a knee foot orthotic, and so what it does, it has a little drop pin on the side of the knee, and it just locks out my knee because I can't bear the weight on my quads, and my glutes.
Oh.
So they keep my legs straight out.
That's freaking, bro. That's absolutely amazing, man. So, quick question. You know what I mean? Because you're doing so much. Like you're swimming. You're at the gym. You're walking. You know what I mean? You're going to therapy. You know what I mean? Like, what's your mission behind all this? And not just your mission for walking again, which I know. I can't wait to have on the podcast where like my band's walking in here, walking up this 20 stairs. We got to get up in here. But like, what's your mission behind you just walking?
Oh, my mission behind this is, well, because I have my kinesiology degree, so I understand like how much work I got to put in.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can shorten the gap in any which way to help other victims of paralysis, like the knowledge gap is what I'm talking about, because these people that have the other accidents, they don't know what is going on, but I knew, and I know how to work. So if I can shorten that knowledge gap for anybody, then that would be amazing. I actually had my buddy help me set up basically like a mission that was like so far out that I don't know if it's attainable, but that was the point of making the goal. And the goal is that, I was like, Einstein's like the father of science or all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to have this goal sitting on my keyboard on my computer. It says, the godfather of paralysis. And I look at that every day, and that's what I want to do. I want to shorten the gap, man. Dude, if I ever make it into the history books with anything like that, my mission is complete.
Bro, let's go. You know what I mean? You want to coach people. I like that. You because they have the knowledge of the personal training and what happened and surgeries they're going to need or whatever it is. But that mental gap, you're right, it's so new to somebody. You know what I mean? And especially someone that wasn't, who I don't think there's anyone that has, we call paralysis, that woke up that day and said they want that. So it's a mental game over everything. And, then you want to become a coach, dude. That's what you want to do what I do. Because all my clients, people that follow me, people who work with me, my programs are in my community, or, purchase my ebook, they know what they need to do. But I've done the work, and I help bridge that mental gap, right? That question of what if, and I help them find that inner version of themselves that they've been wanting to show, but they're so scared to stay consistent to keep them out. You know what I mean? And that's what you want to do. And there's, who said it? I forgot who said the quote, but I think it was Ed Millett. He said, "You're the best teacher for the person you once were." And I'm a strong believer in that. You know what I mean? Because all I do is talk to a whole bunch of old version of Anthony Lopez's, male and female, right? And so for you to be able to come in here and put in this work and to change change your mindset around and to come out on top, whether you walk or not, it still speaks so volumes about who James is as a person, right? To me, James is a fucking warrior, right? You know what I mean? I promise you, James, if I'm ever fucking having a bad day and I start complaining, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna go. You're gonna start coaching me now. Like, yo, what's your problem?
Yeah, I'll answer that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, man, I'll be 100% honest. There needs to be more people in the world that has a fight like you do. Because I'm a coach. I deal with a lot of different people. I get a lot of different DMs from people. I talk to a lot of different people every single day, every single week. from on my program to off my program. I'd make an effort to every single day to go an hour and answer DMs. And the one thing that people are missing is just that fight. It's just like that willingness to just shovel so much shit until you just find, a diamond in it. You know what I mean? And like the crazy thing about, life and about becoming successful, and don't just think of the word successful as in financial. I'm talking about successful marriage, a successful weight loss journey, a successful life, and just being happy, right? The reason why we don't find that stuff because we don't stay there long enough to build it. You know what I mean? Like you show up day in and day out for a what if. And there's people that right now that are listening that won't even show up when they have 100% opportunity. They have 100% rate of winning if they keep showing up, right? And it's just, I keep bringing it up every single time, but it's crazy to grasp. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy to like wrap my head around. Like, I go to the gym knowing that I could get stronger. I go to the gym knowing that I can, lift heavier weights. I could run faster. I could blah, 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 right? But I always think consider myself being tough or mentally tough, right? But would I do this if I wasn't sure that the outcome would be there? You know what I mean? And like, that's what I'm thinking about right now. And I don't know if I would. And I'm not going to put myself in your shoes because I'm not there. But for you to show up every single day and not even care what the outcome's going to be just because you're getting better by just showing up, bro, it's insane. And like that mindset, is that new? Has that been James' whole life, or has this been from the accident?
I've always been like, I remember somebody told me this in high school that I was like scrappy, like on the baseball field.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a good word for it because, I do what I have to do, and I've just been that, and it's even more so now. I just scrape it everything I can, any little bit, 1% each day. If it's 0.1% each day, then so be it.
So someone's listening right now, and they want to build this fight. How do they do it? How do they dig themselves out of a negative headspace?
You gotta build a new community. Like people who are going through the same thing will rekindle your spark.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need. You need help mentally. People who are going through the exact same thing as you, or have gone through it, or know exactly what you're going through. Because every time I meet somebody, they're like, "Oh, you're a newbie." Like, yeah, I know I'm fresh. Y'all been doing it for so long. Yeah.
Have the people told you that before?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. It's like, I won't even go into it. I won't get into it. I'm not going to say nothing. I like what you said. You need a new community. And by me hearing you speak this, it allows me to know that I'm doing the right thing as a coach for my clients. I'm not sure if you know this, but every single week I have a group Zoom call with all my clients. Every single one is an opportunity to join. Now it's up to them if they want to join or not. But I will say that, the people in my online community, my people in my online coaching that join the Zoom calls, majority of them are winning. And the ones that are maybe not winning on the scale, they will be winning soon because they show up every single week and hear people's success stories and wins. And we don't call them losses in my program because I don't think it's possible for them to lose in my program if they showed up to a call to work on themselves. So I call it a lesson, right? It's only a loss when you fail, when you quit, right? So what you going through snowboarding wasn't a fail. What you went through snowboarding was a lesson, right? It's a lot of teach. To me, from hearing you speak your story, it's taught you discipline. It's taught you patience. It's brought out a whole new side of confidence, and I'm just going off of what a lot of this stuff is my first time hearing this. I'm just going off of what I hear. I'm sitting next to someone that's just like definition of a badass. Like you did not, succumb to the situation. Like you grabbed, I'm not gonna lie, you grabbed the situation where it's balls and you said, "You're mine." You made the situation your bitch. All right, I'm gonna say it. I was trying to be PG, but I didn't know how to break it into words, all right? My brain goes to words like that, and I try to be proper with it, and then I start sounding like like I'm not intelligent. So I say that's just what comes to my head. Like you grab the situation, you literally made it your bitch. You didn't let it make it your bitch. You know what I mean? He doesn't have paralysis. Or no, paralysis doesn't have him. Not in a chokehold. Like you got this. You know what I mean? And just by simply having this conversation with you, that's what I got from you. That's to me. If anyone were asking me what James is, I'm just saying he's all around a badass. You know what I mean, doesn't let anyone tell him what his percentage is of winning. He just goes and fights. And it's amazing to see you in the gym already working out. This is like, once again, people, this is 2 years. What have you accomplished in the last 2 years? What have I accomplished in the last 2 years? You know what I mean? Hate to only call people out, but I call myself out. Like, what have we accomplished in the last 2 years? You know, have we really given ourselves 100% effort? At least shoot for 100%. I don't think it's safe to say anyone's ever been at 100%. Right? I mean, maybe a David Goggins, but there's only one of him in the world. Right? So let's at least shoot for 100 and land at 90. You know what I mean? But what is possible in 2 years is it's really just up to you. It's really up to the person listening to this right now. It's up to what are you willing to do in 2 years? What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to, get rid of the toxic relationships and friendships and the crutches and band-aids you have in your life? Are you willing to sit down every single day and game plan how you're going to get better and take that thing and actually utilize it? Are you going to listen to podcasts and go pay motivational speakers and get yourself a coach, but yet not utilize anything and still be in the same boat? Now you're broker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just to hear your story and what you've accomplished in 2 years, I feel bad. I feel bad for the people when we get you back on here and what you accomplish in another 2 years. Like, honestly, man, it's just absolutely insane. So before we get going, man, I want to ask you, you know what I mean? Like, people that are listening, unmotivated, they're just stuck in this negative headspace. They feel like they just don't got it in them. You know what I mean? They're depressed, they're stressed, whatever it might be, right? If you could talk to that person right now, like, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, hang out with people who have the same goals as you. That's it. Like, you can learn so much from different people. Like, there's always something to learn, always something to take away from any conversation, anything somebody's going through. You hear them talking about it, and you're like, oh, man, I'm good. I don't have it that bad. And that's what it is. Build a community. If you want to get into snowboarding, build that community. If you want to lose weight, find that community who wants to lose weight too. They'll keep you accountable.
Accountability is key, man. Accountability is key. So who's that community to you right now?
That community right now is my friends. They're traveling and doing everything, like not letting the wheelchair put any limits on them. There's positives too to being in a wheelchair. There's like some lines I don't have to be waiting in, and there's a bar at Dodger Stadium. They let me go in the front now. It's like amazing.
And the cool thing is like you're still living life. Like, your life isn't over when that snowboarding accident happened. You're down here in Vegas for EDC. You had a freaking blast. It looks like you guys had a blast. I follow you on Instagram now. I was jealous, but I saw that line going to EDC and I was not jealous. I was like, no, I'm good. Right. And you're still, what's it called? Sit skiing. You know what I mean? You're getting out more. Did you travel, or is that your next thing to do?
That's what I want to do. Loma Linda, they have a organization called Possibilities. And I met this guy who's a Paralympian in there, and that's kind of what I set my eyes on. And they basically sponsored me and sent me to Corpus Christi in January to go check out the U.S. Open for table tennis.
Okay. And
ever since then, I just had that itch. I need to get out of Cali and go somewhere else.
You want to travel?
I want to travel.
So you haven't traveled since the incident?
No, I haven't.
Soon though. Well, driving wise, but not flying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Or like, you have no limitations, man. Like, honestly, like, you have no limitations. You didn't let the situation take over your life. You've adapted and you keep pushing, and I can't wait to have you back on here to see what you accomplish in the next 365 days. It's absolutely insane. I don't know how much more motivation that we need to bring, the famous word that everyone looks for, motivation, right? You know what I mean? I don't know how much more motivation we need to bring in this podcast, man, but I know there's a lot of people, including myself, that need to hear this. So I appreciate you being on this podcast, man. If you want to give them their Instagram. Also, his Instagram is pulled up right here. My man right here that has the rip back right there. Any other any companies you're working with, any people who want to shout out and anything like that? If not, we'll just go ahead and wrap it up, brother.
I mean, as far as companies, there's Possibilities has helped me a ton. Triumph Foundation has helped me a ton, and the place I go to on Fridays is the same place where I met Jose. It's called The Perfect Step, and their approach is different, and I love it. Their focus is getting you out of the wheelchair and working out, and I like that. I like that approach a lot. I think they're an amazing place, and when I found out that, it was just like 30 minutes from my house, which is people come from Vermont. I'm thinking of somebody specifically. She came from Vermont, moved over here just so she can go to this place because it's so amazing. And yeah, some people think, oh yeah, it's 30 minutes away, it's far, but people are traveling across the country just to come to this place, and it's in my backyard. I'm so grateful for them.
We can't even get people to go to the gym, and it's only 2 minutes away. And these people out here doing anything to change their life around, man. It's inspiring. It's inspiring, man. If you guys want to go support my boy, he has shirts for sale. Send this man a DM. I know I'm going to be picking up some shirts. Thank you for coming here and sharing your story, man. It absolutely is amazing to have people like you and to be able to just sit down and have a conversation. And we definitely got to get you back on.
Yeah.
All right, brother, man.
Wait, I got one last thing.
Yes, sir.
Can you go back to that other video?
Which one?
Probably that one. I know that result.
This one?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So yeah, my cousin helped me film this, and the reason why I was doing this was because last year I entered this competition on a whim, and it's a competition to be featured in a Muscle and Fitness magazine.
Okay.
And there's a cash prize, and last year I went all the way to the quarterfinals, and it actually just started up again. So that's actually what kind of lit my fire last year when I got into this competition. I was like, all right, time to go hard. And I went as hard as I could, as much as my back can handle, and the competition's here again, and I think I'm gonna win it this time. Last year, I didn't have the 100% absolute in my head, but I have a big community, and I've been networking for since my accident now. Well, I was always networking, but yeah, so I think I'm gonna take this competition this year.
Let's go. So I'll tell you what. So down below, we'll have your Instagram, and then right under that, we'll do your shirts. And then right under that, I'll put go vote. Right? Is it the vote? I'm assuming it's like a vote. They're going to go put a vote in for you?
You can vote every day, and there's like 7 rounds. And the first round just ended 2 days ago. It's like 55 people, and there's like 8 groups of that.
Okay.
And so I just made top 20, and I was the first in my group.
All right. Get down there. If you ain't going to do anything to support my boy, then get down there and go vote for him. That takes about 10 seconds. You could do that every single day. And I know you're going to crush it, man. Once again, thanks for being on this podcast. And this is Modify Your Life Podcast, where I'm your host, Anthony Lopez. Get out there and win. What's your excuse? What are you going to accomplish in the next 2 years?
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.